I just love this so much. Good morning, everybody. It is a beautiful spring morning here in Australia. My name is Phaedra and this is Phaedra Gardeness. Welcome or welcome back. I wanted to show you my planter box full of ranunculus. Everyone who comes to our house, it's the first thing that they see. We love it so much we're actually going to put another one in front of our house. So I wanted to talk you through it a little bit in case it's something that you want to do as well, and you can think of a place to put yours, and you don't have to do them as long as this, but they were very, very easy to put together, and the wow factor is worth the trouble. So these are old, they're treated pine sleepers. So I had them just sitting in a pile, and then I thought in summer I'm going to build a planter, long planter box to go along the side of our hothouse, just make it a little bit prettier, because we were kind of storing random plants and things. It just didn't look very pretty, and I just thought that is a nice spot to have something really pretty. So I cut them down to size and screwed them all together. They're double stacked, and underneath them I've actually got a layer of the weed mat. I think triple layered it, just so that the grass can't come up through my planter boxes, because I don't want to have to pull these down, remove all the grass, relay the membrane on the bottom and start again. We just filled them with sticks, and there was a couple of comments that people just couldn't believe that we'd filled them with like eucalyptus sticks and stuff. But being in Australia, eucalyptus and those natives that you're growing in other parts of the world that are kind of like premium flowers and premium foliage, it's just everywhere here. We've got a constant supply of it. So it's filled with that on the bottom just to kind of bulk it up. And then I got some cheap bags of potting mix and mixed that with horse manure. Horse manure to build up the soil. And as you can see, it's been really nourishing for these plants. The soil level has dropped a little bit now, which is fine. Once the ranunculus have died back, I'll cut them all off and top it up. I'm actually going to leave those corms. I think I'm going to leave the corms in though, just so I don't have to replant them every season. And I have a lot of corms, so if it doesn't work out very well, I've got more corms to put in for the next season, so it's fine. I did plant them very thick because I wanted it to be a really nice array of flowers, and it's just mixed colours because I really like colour, and I wanted the colours to sort of stand out and pop. And it has been amazing. We've been cutting from them, we've made some bouquets. I do come out in deadhead, not as much as I would have when we were growing for cut flowers, because they're sort of they're in shade in the morning until around sort of 10 a.m, sort of part shade till 10 a.m, and then they get early afternoon shade. So it is by the world standards classed as full sun, but by Australian standards, this is not classed as full sun. So they are very long, and that's what can happen when you plant in part shade. Your flowers, most of them will stretch and they'll get longer stems. So I'm going to give you a bit of a closer look, and we'll have a look at how everything is going. You can see I've got lots of different colours and different varieties. Some that I've grown from seed. This one's one that I grew from seed. And some that I just bought as corms. I'm usually not a huge fan of red flowers, but this red is so pretty. It's almost a bit of a, like a, I don't know what you'd say. I almost feel like it's got a blue undertone. It's real pretty. It is very joyful. Coming through the trees. I actually even love the clover that's growing up along the edge. I'll show you a close-up of how I've done the edge. So down in here, there's actually weed mat that extends out a little bit. And I just keep on top of it to make sure that none of the creeping grasses gets in under. So it's just a matter of keeping an eye on things. Maybe once a month I'll come out here and just double check, and I will cut this back as well. But I'm just sort of enjoying the rambling mess of it at the sides there at the moment. And then as you come down the driveway, this is the view. I do need to do a little clean up here, but it's just one little space on the property that just looks really beautiful. And I'm all about building beautiful little spaces and just sort of focusing on one little section at a time. And I feel like I nailed it with this one. One thing that did happen early in the season was I'd put the corms in and they had started to grow over autumn. We went away and a neighbour was looking after things. It wasn't his fault at all. He actually tried to help us by netting them, but the wallabies got to them and took all the tops off every single plant. And we came back and they were sort of like just chewed down to like an inch tall. It was sort of mid-autumn, and just thankfully we had sort of a long, warmer autumn. And they all came back, and as you can see that they've done really beautifully and it was fine. But yeah, everything that we grow here, we do sort of have trouble with the wallabies. They like to just have a little nibble. They'll have a nibble on everything that's new, and some things they'll keep eating, and then other things they'll leave alone. So it's always a bit of trial and error here around the house yard. But my plan for when these die off, because it is starting to warm up here now, we're heading into summer. We've got one more month before summer, but we can have a very warm October. So they're going to slowly die off, sometimes fast. They'll stop producing anyway. My plan is to fill this with cosmos so that we've got beautiful array of flowers over the summer. And if you've been following for a while, you'll know how much I love cosmos. Years ago, I had 2 rows of cosmos out in the flower field, and it was like a tunnel, and I just loved it. Like, we just couldn't get enough of it. We walked through it all the time. We took photos and videos. It was such good value. But the field this season is all going to be edible. So all, vegetables, fruits, and edible flowers, and edible cut flowers. So I'm needing to keep the cosmos out of the field this year, and this is where I'm going to put it. So I'm going to have, it won't be a tunnel, but it'll be a big array of cosmos right here, which I think will be really funny. Which I think will be really beautiful, and it's going to have as much impact as the ranunculus. I just love how it's framed my hothouse. I love the way this looks. I love that it's elevated the look of my hothouse, because hothouses can sometimes be a bit boring, borderline ugly, and mine's still a bit messy on the ends, but I just feel like this has elevated the look of my hothouse. It's made it a focal point rather than just a tool for the backyard and a tool for growing, which I'm loving. I hope this inspires you to go out and do something to make something beautiful, even if it's a pot of flowers at your door or on your veranda, just something to make you smile when you go out and do that. If you're interested in this hothouse and how I built it, it was quite cheap. It was very DIY. I will do a video on that as well, so subscribe to follow along so you don't miss that, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.
Oh, it's pretty hard. There. Mom, one.
Yeah. What did you just say? You want to have a nap? You got so exhausted.